All right, welcome. My name is Brad Forder. I'm programming director for the Environmental Film Festival in the nation's capital. And with me is Maggie Stogner. Maggie is the executive director of the Center for Environmental Filmmaking at American University. She's also the director of the upcoming film Unbreathable, The Fight for Healthy Air, which will be premiering June 18th on the festival's website. And Maggie, thanks for taking the time today. And before we get talking about the film, I did want you to talk a bit about the program at American University. AU has been a long time partner of the festival, and there have been many alumni filmmakers over the years that screened with us. So to begin, talk a little bit about the program and the work that you all are doing at AU.
Well, thank you, Brad, very much for inviting me to do this, and we're really excited about the upcoming film. The Center for Environmental Filmmaking was actually founded in 2005 by Chris Palmer, and I took it on, gosh, it's hard to believe, almost 2 years ago, and it's just an incredible center. It's one of the very few in the world that actually offers a concentration specifically in environmental and wildlife filmmaking. And our students come in as film and media arts students, and then they concentrate, and we have classes built around environmental and wildlife filmmaking, environmental justice. It's a range, and of course there is a range now, including immersive through our game lab, and you know, from 360 to full, you know, multi-user immersion kinds of projects that we're building. And so students have an incredible range of opportunity to explore their visions as emerging filmmakers. And as you know, over the years, we've had a lot of students showing their films through the DC Environmental Film Festival, and then going on to great careers from, oh my gosh, I've lost count of how many are at National Geographic now, to, you know, Los Angeles, to Conservation International, World Wildlife Fund. I mean, we just, I'm very, you know, just, I don't even know what word to use. I'm proud of them, pleased to have the opportunity to help them emerge into these incredible careers and really make a difference in the world with the work they're doing.
Well, and we've appreciated this partnership over the years, and you know, and again, we're very excited to co-present Unbreathable coming up. As we mentioned, that will launch on June the 18th, and it's a timely message on several fronts. You know, first, obviously, given the 50th anniversary of the Clean Air Act. Also, though, it's putting a spotlight on communities in the U.S. that are facing environmental injustice. So start us off by talking about how the project began for you. How were you drawn to the topic?
Yeah, it's you know, it's always an interesting process, but I love collaborating. Filmmaking is all about collaborating. So it's the 50-year anniversary of the Clean Air Act this year. And so that, as well as, you know, we had the 50-year anniversary of Earth Day. I mean, big year for a lot of environmental undertakings. And so the American University's Center for Environmental Policy and the American Lung Association, we started having these discussions, and we started with kind of more of a historical look at the accomplishments of the 50 years of the Clean Air Act. But in that process, it's very clear that there's a lot of work to be done. And as I said earlier, you know, I think the environmental justice aspects of what we do at the Center for Environmental Filmmaking are incredibly important, and we can make a real difference there. So the film is 30 minutes long, and it does celebrate some of the amazing accomplishments that have been able to be done through the Clean Air Act and the regulations and laws that provides. But it also addresses the fact that almost 50% of Americans still live in communities with unhealthy air, that there's asthma is still the #1 health issue for children. So we interweave personal stories of people living with the challenges of pollution and the accomplishments. And it's what I really refer to as a civic engagement film. It is very much about that we are the government, that we can make a difference, that we need to get out and really make sure that the laws stay intact. They are being rolled back horrifically fast right now, and that we're there for each other, and that we work together to ensure clean air for everybody. I have to say, on a personal note, I grew up in California, in Northern California, in the San Francisco area. And my grandparents on both sides lived in Los Angeles. And we would drive down to visit them and never saw the mountains. I mean, never saw the mountains. Our eyes would just be tearing with the pollution was so bad. And so that, I just remember that so distinctly growing up, is that you could not play outside on certain days when we'd go to visit them. You could just feel this stinging in your eyes and the smell. And if we ever saw those mountains, it was like, wow, there are mountains right behind LA, really? You know, so I have these very early memories of just how bad the pollution was in California, in that area in California, and even in the San Francisco Bay Area, it got really bad. And now it's so clean, you know, we forget. But there are a lot of issues about clean air that we don't see so much. I mean, acid rain was one of those, but microplastics now, we're not, you know, we don't see them. So they're not like this big billowing brown smoke coming out of factories, but our air is not. Pesticides is another one. You don't see it, but it's there. So another film would really be about all the amazing new measuring tools that exist today to really show just how bad the air is in specific areas.
Thank you again, Maggie.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Brad.
And Maggie Stogner, the director of Unbreathable. And again, that screening, the online premiere will be June the 18th, and you can find it at DCEFF.org. Thanks again, Maggie.
Thank you.